welcome. And this is being recorded since most people will be taking advantage of this later on, watching the recording, which is going to be available on the Office of Youth and Young Adult Ministry website. So I want to thank you for being here live and in person, so to speak. I wanted to begin these monthly. These are actually going to be monthly because there's a lot of information to be shared. And even though we have regional meetings, not everybody can always make them. And they're only quarterly. And so the purpose of these webinars will be, for the most part, really just to share information. Maybe once in a while I'll do one on a particular topic. But for this one, for sure, it's just a matter of sharing information. And since there's so few of us on, I'm not going to mute you. So normally if I had a lot of people on, I would put everybody on mute. But I just ask that you might want to mute yourself if you're chewing or doing anything like that, which I've heard everything on a webinar. All right, let's go ahead and get started because I just have a bunch of information to share with you today. And before we get to sharing, I'd like us to begin with prayer. This is a prayer that I had never seen before until yesterday. It was shared with me yesterday by my supervisor, Stephen Colella, and I just loved it. And right away, we both said, oh, this is a great prayer for youth ministry. So I'm just going to ask all of us, we'll join together in this prayer, which was written by Cardinal John Henry Newman. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God has created me to do him some definite service. He has committed some work to me which he has not committed to another. I have my mission. I never may know it in this life, but I shall be told it in the next. Somehow, I am necessary for his purposes, as necessary in my place as an archangel in his. If indeed I fail, he can raise another, as he could make the stones children of Abraham. Yet I have a part in this great work. I am a link in a chain, a bond of connection between persons. He has not created me for naught. I shall do good. I shall do his work. I shall be an angel of peace, a preacher of truth in my own place, while not intending it, if I do but keep his commandments and serve him in my calling. Does anyone have any intentions that you'd like us to pray for today as a group?
No.
This is Anne Marie. I do. My father is in Chicago, hospitalized. He was supposed to start a cancer treatment on Monday and wound up hospitalized for something unrelated. So if we could keep him in our prayers.
Absolutely. Anne Marie, what's his name?
Don Ott.
Don. Thank you. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Any other intentions? Well, Lord, we offer you this intention for Don Ott, for his health, and all the intentions we hold in our heart, and certainly the intentions of all of the young people committed to our care. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So here's our agenda for today. First, a little quick, what's happening, a couple updates that from around the Archdiocese, and then I'm going to ask you if you have anything you want to share. Then I would like us to look at the calendar that's on the Youth and Young Adult Ministry webpage. I would really like us to have that become a very vibrant and living document that everyone in the Archdiocese can go to find out what's going on, both at the diocesan level, but really at the parish level also, which is where most of everything should be going on. So I want to show you what that looks like and kind of walk through real quickly how to set up an event on that if you don't already know how. Then we're going to talk for just a few minutes about safe environment. Beginning of the summer and over the summer is a great time to do a safe environment kind of checkup with your teams and make sure that everybody's up to date. And then speaking of safe environment, a little bit on Steubenville, because obviously safe environment policies come into play when you're going to Steubenville or similar conferences. NCYC, and then a little bit about World Youth Day. And then the final thing, I didn't list it here in the agenda, is a new document sharing platform that I'm introducing to also the webpage, and I want to introduce it to you. And then we'll have some time for questions at the end. So what's happening? So there's two exciting new youth ministries that are one is launched officially and the other one is getting ready to. So St. Rose of Lima, which is actually my home parish, hasn't had youth ministry in quite a while, is a very large parish, and they launched their new middle school youth ministry last Friday night. They had 55 kids come to the parish for an end of the year party. They formed a youth council. They let the youth council name the youth ministry. So the kids actually came up with the name Everything Possible with Christ, which they then call EPIC. And the kids planned that event. So they are off to a really good start. And then yesterday I was at St. Catherine Drexel for my second meeting. Father Delgado there has selected a team of 5 adults and that's the same process that we did at St. Rose of Lima, that form a core team. And now in 2 weeks, I'm going to go back out there and have a meeting with a larger group of adults that they're calling in to also help, and they're looking to officially launch in the fall. So those are 2. Anne Marie, I know that we're working on St. Agnes, and we'll get it. You already have youth ministry. You're not launching, but another one on the board is St. John Bosco and Little Flower Hollywood. So very exciting to have new youth ministries launching. Does anybody else have any news you'd like to share with your fellow youth ministers?
No, not now.
Nothing right now. I know, it's the beginning of the summer. We just want everything to end right now. So on the topic of what's happening, I do want to put the question out there, whether any of you are leading summer missions, whether you're doing something local or distance. Are any of you doing something like that?
No.
No.
Is that Mark?
Yes, hey, I just want to say I'm here.
Hi, Mark. Okay.
How are you?
No. Oh, good, good. Well, this is another thing that I want to be collecting information and posting on our resource page, that people who are doing any kind of mission trips and they work with an organization that they recommend, I want to have that information to share with others. So I will be also asking this question in an email of all the parish leaders, and hopefully I'll get some feedback that we can share. All right, so let's get ahead to that topic of the calendar. So on the screen, what you're seeing is a screenshot of, this is on the youth ministry page of the Archdiocese of Miami, and you see we have all those tabs there. And there's a tab that says upcoming events. And what that is, that page gets automatically populated anytime that anybody creates an event on the Archdiocesan calendar and labels it as a youth or young adult event. And so it automatically streams onto this page. And this page could be a very, very good resource for us. We get phone calls all the time from random people. Most of the time it's actually grandmothers who are looking for youth groups for their wayward teenage grandchildren. But they call us and they want to know. They say they're not even necessarily a member of a parish, and they say, well, I live here, and they give me their general neighborhood, and they want to know, is there a church nearby that has a youth group? And as you can see, this is just, I took this screenshot earlier today. Blessed Trinity does it. They just went into the website, they created this event for their youth group, and then it's there. And I really would love to see us have every single parish have the listing of at least their youth group meetings, and then any kind of special events that you do as well. So I would love to see this list be 30, 40, 50, 60 items long, and this can really become a one-stop source for people who are looking for, when somebody decides all of a sudden that they want to connect to the church, if we're not there with the information for them, we may never get them back, and that's a real missed opportunity. So this is one place that the resource is already there. I'd like us to really begin to use it. So in just a couple screens, have any of you ever created an event on this calendar?
On the Adam one, yes, I have.
All right.
On the other one too.
Okay, so I again, because many people are going to be watching this recorded, I'm going to walk through it. It's just like 3 screens here. And you begin to set up an event by just going to the landing page of miamiarch.org, and then you'll see the navy blue arrow pointing at submit an event. You click on that, takes you to this next page. If you already have an account, your account information shows up. If you don't, it gives you the option to create an account. But let's say you already have your account created. Now you have to go there to the right where it says My Events. Click on that. And I'm sorry that it does take so many steps. I wish it was a little more user-friendly, but right now this is what it is. Then the next screen has the big unmissable button that says click here to request to publish your event. So you click there, it takes you to yet another screen. Here you input all your information, and the important thing is that under that category you select youth and young adults from that drop-down menu. And that's it. You'll get a message saying that your event has been submitted, and then you'll get an email. I believe you get an email when it's been approved, because it does need to be approved. But if everyone could start using that, I would appreciate it. And again, I think that'll be a great resource for everyone. All right, next item on the list to talk about is Safe Environment Checkup. So this is a great time during the summer to get your ducks in a row, remembering that all adults who are working with minors must be fingerprinted and Virtus trained. And also, you might have at this point some of your teenagers who've been helping, who were part of youth group, and maybe, if you're really, really blessed, are coming back to work with you as young adults. And if they've turned 18, then they also then at that point need to be fingerprinted and attend Virtus. Remember also that Virtus training is not required for under 18, but is optional. And I myself, in my own practice, when I was at a parish, I did have the older teenagers, the 17, even some 16-year-olds, but definitely 17-year-olds, participate in Virtus. They were at an age that they could certainly understand it, and got a lot out of it. So keep that in mind, that you can optionally have them participate in Virtus, and that'd be something you definitely want to talk to your parish coordinator before doing, and probably also your pastor. But I ask you to please help make sure that your volunteers are in compliance. It's something that we all have to go through, but as you all know, it protects the children, most of all. It protects your volunteers. That is certainly the flip side of that coin. Lastly, it does protect the Archdiocese, because it is one of the first things that is looked at whenever there's any kind of call downtown, or any kind of complaint. That's going to be one of the first things that's going to be looked at is was this volunteer properly vetted? So please do work to ensure that your volunteers are. Are there any questions about safe environment?
No.
No. Okay. All right. So then moving forward to Steubenville, and the main thing about Steubenville that I want to talk about is the procedure for getting your adults okayed and approved. Are any of you going to Steubenville, Orlando?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so Mark, you're going. I haven't gotten your forms yet, have I?
For the adult volunteers, no.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not going with you. I'm going with my own group.
No, but the Archdiocese has to approve all of your.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what I mean. That I don't remember seeing yours. Okay, so this is the new procedure, because while the office was closed, you would normally, people, I think I'm gathering, had a couple different ways of doing it, but eventually your names of your adults that were going to Steubenville had to get to the Archbishop's office. And so a lot of people would send them to the Chancellor's office. And
Right.
from there, they would get sent to the Archbishop. But the Chancellor's office a couple months ago requested that now that this office is open, that they come directly here. So from now, it's starting a couple months ago, the policy is that you send me the names and also the email addresses. The fingerprinting is cross-referenced through emails, and especially if it's a very common name. it can be hard to find somebody, and so they use the email addresses to locate them in the database. So if you send me the names and the email addresses of the individuals, then I go through the steps of getting the Virtus clearance, the fingerprinting clearance. I walk the documents down to the Archbishop's office, get them back. They're usually very quick. As long as the Archbishop's in town, it's usually within 48 hours. And then my general policy is that I'll mail the originals to Steubenville. I'll scan them in before I mail them and email you the copy. If you want to do it any way differently, you just let me know. Okay? So for this coming up Steubenville, the deadline for Steubenville to receive those forms is July 3rd. So it's best if you can get your names to me by June 12th. Since I started doing this several months ago, I think I've already done maybe 4 or 5 parishes, and every single parish has had many individuals who did not get automatically cleared. So, very rarely is it a fingerprinting issue. But if it is, then that volunteer has to come in, make an appointment, get fingerprinted. And then, of course, they can't wait until the day before to get fingerprinted. There has to be time for the report to come back in before they can get cleared. Other people are not up to date on their bulletins. If a volunteer is maybe 1 to 3 bulletins behind, Jan Rayburn will normally go ahead and give me the clearance for them. But I've seen volunteers who are 30 bulletins behind, 50 bulletins behind, and she'll reactivate their account, but she will not give me the clearance until they get caught up. So that's why we need to build in that time so that people can get caught up, and then we can run the paperwork and get everything back to you. Any questions about that?
Rosemary, this is Anne Marie.
Yes.
I was originally going with the St. Hugh group, but I haven't been in touch with him lately, so I'll communicate with him. But in the meantime, should I go get you my information so you can do what you need to do, and then one way or the other, if I don't go, no big deal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
So if you don't mind, you can...
yeah, I'll do that. I'll write to you as soon as we're done.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you. And then, Mark, I'll wait to get yours.
Yeah, I'll get them to you. I'm going on vacation next week, so I'll get them to you before I head out.
Okay, awesome. How many are you taking?
How many students? We have 50 spots that we filled. Actually, got 52 spots, and so I'm taking about 5 adults,
Awesome.
including myself.
Excellent. All right, so on to another mega gathering, bigger. This is the ultimate mega gathering, Big Daddy gathering of Catholic youth. This is NCYC. Have any of you ever attended NCYC?
No.
Okay.
Only the youth minister track, not with the students.
Okay, yeah, you attended the even numbered year, the NCYCM, whatever. I've attended that also. I never get the acronyms right. So basically, the group that kind of is the trade group for youth ministers, right? The National Federation for Catholic Youth Ministry. They put on, in alternating years, 2 different mega conferences. In an odd-numbered year, such as this year, the conference is, the audience are the kids, youth, high school youth. In even-numbered years, the audience is youth ministers, adults. So this year, and they have different names. The youth one is the NCYC, the National Catholic Youth Conference. And then the one for the adults is the NCCYM, National Catholic, I can't remember what it's called, I'm sorry. But anyway, this year it's for the kids. Now, unfortunately, it's not in a super convenient place for us. It's in Indianapolis, and it's November 19th through the 21st. I've attended both NCYC and the adult one. They're phenomenal. NCYC will have, I forget how many tens of thousands, 30,000 maybe, 20,000. A huge number of Catholic teenagers attending, and it's there's a website, NCYC. There's a link to it on our webpage, the Archdiocese Office webpage. Matt Maher, Chris Stefanik, all the top usual, Catholic musicians and speakers and worship leaders will be there. It is a phenomenal event. Generally, when people have gone once, they get hooked on it, and then they want to go back, every other year. It's just that because of the location, it is not an easily accessible or inexpensive trip. But I don't want to discourage you. There are already, that I know of, 2 parishes, one from the Keys and one from Miami, who are planning on going. And that is because both of those youth ministers attended it at one point in their lives, and it, made a huge change in their lives. And so they want to continue that with the groups that they lead. If you decide that you want to learn more, and then if you want to register, just go to the NCYC tab on the Office of Youth Ministries webpage. And if you decide you want to register, there's a link there. And you just click on that link. We've already set up an Archdiocese of Miami page, and then you go there and you register your individual group. And if you want to talk about NCYC, offline, have any questions about it, don't hesitate to ask. It's the conference itself costs $215 for the weekend, and then there's the hotel and the airfare. And the airfare that I've been looking into, unfortunately, I haven't checked for a little while, but I wasn't seeing anything less than about close to $400. So that's the unfortunate part of it. They move it around. It's not always in Indianapolis. It was in Orlando 2 years ago. So we can pray for it to move closer next time around. Are there any questions about NCYC? No? All right. Then
No.
let's move on. Very good. All right. World Youth Day. This is kind of like the final stage in registration, and I just wanted to share the information with everyone. We have all of our groups that are traveling as parishes registered, and I believe as of last count we have 8 parishes and 1 group, Encuentros Juveniles, which has kids from all different parishes traveling with us, and we're at about 148 travelers in our group. We do have some space available, and so we have opened up registration to those young people who may not have a group going from their parish. They may not have enough kids or not the parish support, but they want to go. And so now registration is open to them. So this should have been in parish bulletins either this weekend or it will be next weekend. We sent this out to all the pastors. And also, so if you are in a parish where you maybe have just like 1 or 2, and they could be teenagers, 16, 17-year-olds, what we'll do is we'll put them into groups and we'll assign them. We have a couple adults who are willing to go and work and be their leaders. The young adults, similar. We'll put them into a group. So that is what this aspect of registration is. It's for those individual teenagers, 16, 17-year-olds, up through young adults who want to travel but don't have their own parish group to travel with. Okay? Chris, Mark, how many do you have going?
I have 26 that are interested. I am praying that number drops down to about 20 because that's the size group I'd like to take.
Yeah.
We are doing our final registration when we book the airfare, which should be right in August or the end of August when we can put that together.
Awesome. Is there anyone else on the call, on the webinar, who's planning on going?
I'd love to go.
Is that Anne-Marie?
Yes.
Yeah. Anne-Marie, you can find a couple kids from Key Biscayne who can go to World
They
Youth
could
Day.
sponsor me.
Probably, sure.
Probably.
And again, because this is being recorded, and I'm going to be encouraging every parish to have at least one representative watch this recording. I do ask that with anything like Steubenville or NCYC or any kind of conference or trip, if you're planning on going, please just let me know. I I'm happy for you. You're not, doing it because you have to, because I'm keeping tabs on you, but I just like to know. I like to know who's going where. I want to be able to follow up with people, and if it's something that I've never done before, kind of find out about it. Also so that we can coordinate when, let's say it turns out that 3 different parishes are all going to NCYC. I mean, we should coordinate. So, yeah, go ahead, Mark.
No, I just think absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah. So just, don't hesitate, and please do just let me know when you're planning to do these things. And even though I also offer these pilgrimages, you're certainly, I don't expect you in any parish to travel with me, and I don't get offended if you decide to go on your own. I know there's a lot of different factors, but I still just would love to know what it is that you're doing and where everybody is at any, at different times. So awesome. All right. I think we just have, this is the final item for today, which is resource sharing. So, from the very beginning, when we opened the office in October, this was something that I talked about wanting to do. And I finally think that I figured out, at least for now, the easiest way to do this is through a Google Drive. And maybe in the future we'll get more high tech, although lots of companies use Google Drives for their data sharing. And it's a pretty good system. So with Google Drive, anybody can access Google Drive. I'm going to show you what it would look like on the next screen. And we will have, it's not up there yet, but we will have a link to this Google Drive on our page, on the Office of Youth and Young Adult Ministry page. And I would, again, just like with that events calendar, I would love to see this be really full, lots of resources. I'm going to go back, and once it's set up, and upload, a lot of the things that we've already done together, and then the future going forward. This is where I'll be uploading, resources that I share, things that are being created. We're in the final stages of creating a digital or electronic communications policy for the entire Archdiocese. This summer, we will finish a overall kind of coordinator's handbook for youth ministry with, and I see that either Helen or Rich Gonzalez is on this call, so I know you'll be happy to hear this. Anne Marie's looking for forms. I know you're all looking for things, and we're going to have it all, and this is where it'll be. So, and likewise, I would love for you all to share your resources that you have on this page. So here on the screen, there's only one thing there right now. But this is basically, if you haven't worked with Google Drive, what it looks like. You'll have the link. You go to it. The drive is called Archdiocese of Miami Youth Ministry. And then we just post. You can post PDFs. You can post Excel spreadsheets. You can post PowerPoints. You can post Word documents. And then let's say it's a PowerPoint, and you like it, then you can just literally download that to your own computer, and then it's yours. So it's very, yes.
I'm sorry, Rosemary. Are we going to have to submit it to you for approval to place there, or
no?
Is it
you know what?
You can upload no matter what.
Yeah, I'm going to let you upload. I'll be, if I didn't have that kind of trust in the youth ministers,
perfect. No,
you'd be in big trouble. So no, it's a good question. I'll be reviewing it, and I think that if I saw something, that I was concerned about, I would contact you and let you know. But yes, the expectation is that you will upload your own resources. And as it starts to get more filled in, you can organize it, so that you can create folders by topic. Right now, there's just the one document, but there'll be folders by various topic, like permission slips, retreat outlines, flyers for upcoming events, things like that. So again, it's just so that we can all share information. None of us need to be reinventing the wheel for any reason. And I want everybody to have quick access to whatever it is that they need. So I hope that will be up by next Monday. That will be a link on the website for the Office of Youth and Young Adult Ministry. All right, finally, I'm going to be holding these webinars monthly. Again, they're always recorded, And so it's wonderful if you can hop in live, but if you can't, that's also great. I mean, most of them will really be about half an hour. And like I said, I think at the very beginning, it may be that on a particular month, there's a particular topic that I decide to cover, and so it would be more along that nature. I'm thinking that July will be like that because there won't, it's a kind of a quiet time for us. There won't be probably so much news sharing, but I'm thinking of a couple different topics that we could cover, in half an hour. I dedicate an hour to them, so they could go up to an hour. If any of you have topics that you would love to see covered, and I can bring in a guest speaker to talk on something. I know one of the topics I do want us to cover is I'd like to bring in either a social worker or a psychologist to address how to address and respond to the really, really difficult questions and issues that might come up in a youth group or a youth ministry, so that when a youth indicates that they're suicidal or they're cutting or, issues regarding same-sex attraction and things like that. So that is definitely going to be an upcoming topic. If anyone thinks that, I like to do them on Wednesday, just because webinar and Wednesday start with the same letter. But if, 4 o'clock is somewhat an arbitrary time, if you all think that maybe more people could attend at a different time, I suppose, sometimes maybe it's 7 p.m. might be better, and I'd be open to doing that too. On the other hand, since they're recorded, people can listen to them whenever they like. We all have busy nights just like we have busy days, so I don't know that would be anything better. But feel free to email me if you have a suggestion about that. So we were just about half an hour. Are there any questions? Anything you want to share? Anything going on?
Nope.
No? I want to, let me quickly say, oh yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just going to say, in reference to those forms, will you be uploading some forms?
Yes, that's going to be the first thing I'm going to upload. I really didn't have them, Anne-Marie, and so I've had to create them. And so that's...
Oh, okay. And I would rather have done it that way than trying to create my own and then have it, so...
Yeah, no,
okay,
so I've just, so that's why, that's been the delay. But that's going to be the first thing...
What forms are we asking about?
Anne-Marie's looking for very basic forms. Go ahead and share what you're...
Well, we have nothing. And so I had an adult approach me the other day and wanted to volunteer, and I don't even have an application for an adult volunteer. I don't have any registration forms for the kids. It's just a drop-in program. But then I started thinking about it. I've got their kids for an hour and a half to 2 hours once a week. And what if something happened and I needed to get a hold of a parent? I have nothing. So we have stopped for the time being because our program historically just ran during the school year. Which that hopefully will be changing in the near future. But over the summer, I really want to get this stuff in place. So that's what I'm looking for, just basic stuff.
So if any of you, you have a good volunteer registration form, a good, youth ministry registration form, you can email it to me right now if you wanted to, and I'll post it. That's going to be one of the first folder that I'm working on is forms. Or you can just wait until this is up, hopefully on Monday, and that would be great. That would be a great place to upload your forms and help you. And again, because as I mentioned, we have a lot of youth ministry starting up, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. And St. Malachi also is in the process of getting started. So these are brand new groups that need a lot of resources. So that would be great. Anything else? All right. I want to thank you all for being here today. This will be, like I said, posted hopefully by Monday on our website. And I ask you to keep me and Marta Vargas, who's also on the call, our coordinator from the office here, who's feeling very, very under the weather, but is trucking through because we actually have our very first young adult event from the office this Friday night, a mass and holy hour and fellowship at St. Kieran's here in Miami, and we have over 70 young adults have RSVP'd to attend.
How exciting.
Very excited, but we also have an 80% chance of rain right now for Friday. So please, I ask you all to pray for fair weather and a wonderful turnout and event for our first event for the young adults as far as the Archdiocese is concerned. Well, thank you. We're always here to answer questions, and Anne Marie, I think about you every day. So I've not forgotten you. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the summer, and hope to see you all soon.
Okay. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.